Hi, my name is Eric, and I'm the developer of Repo Prompt. I built this app to help my own workflows in dealing with large language models, especially with services like ChatGPT and Claude, where dealing with files and applying edits is just a really tedious process when you can't have the API for you. So let's walk through a little bit of what this does. And if you're new to the app, this is a good place to start to figure out all the functionality that we can work with. So Repo Prompt, when you first open it, has this workspaces area here. And what you'll do with this is basically either open a folder or select a recent one. So I'm going to open up Repo Prompt Web, and this is my website's repository. Now, as you open this up, you'll notice there's a few buttons at the top here. So what we'll do with these. So I can actually open up a new folder, and this would allow me to have a second folder, or as many as you need, in this workspace, and that lets you access things like documentation or package references and build prompts with those as well. If you're new to this whole concept here, the main thing that you'll be doing with Repo Prompt is going through, finding the files that you want, and you can search for them, and I'll get through that in a second. And once you have your file selected, you can hit copy or start a chat and go ahead and build with those files. And the reason why you want to be selective with these files is because large language models, as you may be aware, have a very narrow context window. And even when they have large context windows, being selective with your files helps focus them on much more purposeful changes. So if I'm working on my hero section and I don't care about the privacy policy, there's no reason to include it because that's just spurious context for the language model. Great, so I've got these two files selected. What else can we do here? So I can sort them, so there's ways to sort these files. You can also sort files by token use here and use different name sorting. I can switch to file and then, folder from file, and you can see like if I select all these here, we can go ahead and like work with these folders here, and you can see how that's helpful there, or we can just go back to files and see everything kind of in one place. Great. Filters are a really helpful part of working with Repo Prompt because there's a lot of kinds of files like build folders and such that you might want to exclude. So we can open that up here. If you're familiar with git ignore, this is a very helpful way to work. So you can go ahead and specify certain patterns that you want the app to ignore. And I've gone ahead and included a lot of defaults here. And both of these are combined to create a nice filter to have either workspace specific, like just folder specific changes, which are saved in a repo ignore file, or global rules. So if you work with a lot of kinds of node, for instance, then all of these rules are just globally kind of respected. So no matter what, and you don't have to set them up for each folder. Great. As I open this workspace as well, I want to just bring attention a little bit to here. So I had this architect prompt already selected. Now, what is this prompt? So this is one of the prompts that comes included in Repo Prompt. And what it does is help you create a plan for what you're going to work on. This is very helpful as a lot of language models try to get straight to the action, but if you make them plan first, they can get much better results. You can also pick from different prompts here. I've got a lot that I've set up here. You can make new ones. The engineer one is a great one for just having code changes that are specific without doing the whole write the whole file in full. So that's very helpful. And from here, you can also go ahead and look at here. This lets you switch workspaces. So I can save the workspace or save and exit. That lets me kind of go back here. You can hit exit here as well if you want to go out. It's a little handling shortcut. When you're in your files here, you can actually go ahead and open them up to preview them. So that's very helpful here. So we can preview certain files. And on the menu here, we can actually go ahead and there's a context menu. We can copy them or open them in Finder. Now, if you're making changes to your repo as you're working, one of the key things is that Repo Prompt automatically detects changes to files and folders and will reload the latest version no matter what automatically. So if it messes up, you can hit this refresh button, which reloads the workspace. But you almost never need to actually hit this button. And if I open this up here, I can show you that if I say delete app.js, I can go ahead and move it to trash. It gets automatically deleted, and I can go ahead and hit back, and it comes right back here, and we can reselect it there. Now this works for folders, for everything you need, automatically detected. If I make edits, this will get picked up automatically, so you don't have to worry about any of this. If you open your workspace, you can leave it open all day, make all the changes you need, and kind of move on. Great. So from here, let's go ahead and make some changes. So I'm going to deselect all of this, focus on hero, and let's say add a button for managing purchases on my website. Okay. Okay, great. So that's a pretty vague prompt. It's not going to be super specific, but we'll just go ahead and see what that does. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, open up Claude here, and paste that in. So this is one of the key things you can do with Repo Prompt is, leverage just existing chat apps and have, them work through changes like that. And you can see here the prompt has got a lot in it. So we've got the file map, so it gets you go through the selected file tree. I can actually customize that, so I can hit all the files or have auto that has token limits, or none if I don't want any of it. And then you can go through these are the files selected, and at the end there's my actual instructions, which is the optimal way of handling a prompt with these models. Great. So from here, so I did the copy. I can also go ahead and do a new chat. So if I do a new chat with Claude Sonnet, automatically my prompt from Compose is sent over. I can hit send, and that's going to set up the changes that I want directly. So while here, it started just basically presenting all of the changes to make. Actually applying these is a little tedious, and that's what actually makes this easy here. So I can go ahead and review, and this is the button that was added here in Hero.js. As you see though, this was a little bit more detailed because it made the plan first and then just kind of went ahead and tried to add some extra stuff with the CSS. So what I can actually do here is do pro mode, and what this will do is it will split the work of architecting, planning, and editing into two separate steps. So I can try that again here, and it will go ahead and do it, and see in this time this is thought through. Oh, actually maybe I do want to update the CSS as well. So it's going to start by updating the JS, and then it's going to update the CSS as well. And as you see here, it's using Gemini Flash to update our files, which is a great way to save money when you're making edits, as a lot of other apps will have Claude do all of the work. For very large files, we actually support using diff mode as well, like I showed you earlier, where just the changes are done. And I can go here and see both of these files were updated. Great. So this is just a quick way of doing chat, and there's a lot to explore here, and I encourage you to mess around. But what we can also do here is go ahead and take our prompt again, put that in apply, and then copy that here. So we're going to try a new chat here, and what this is going to do now is it will take the prompt that we had, add the edit prompt that we set up earlier, that you saw being used in this chat mode. And from here, we're going to have it make direct changes to our files. So it did all this work here. It planned just the changes needed. So as you can see, it said just change this button and then add just this part of the CSS. So we added two files all in one shot. And I can go ahead and hit merge. And then you'll see the changes are showing up here as well. Automatically in line, we can review them, accept all. And if we don't like them, just revert them back. There you go. That's simple as that. So that's a little tour of Repo Prompt's core functionality. Code maps are a new feature that allow us to also scan repos and extract API data from files. So if I hit complete here, I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like. Note that with JavaScript, it's not quite as useful as it would be with, say, like Swift or TypeScript, where you're using a lot more typed languages. In this case, our code is quite simple, so there's not that many functions that operate, but we extracted them anyway. So if your code is a lot more structured and there's like big files that will have lots of complexity and APIs that you can access, it'll basically allow the model to figure out all that's accessible to it and not have to include all of the context here. So that's a great way to save on token use. And if you use the auto mode, that allows extracted types to be auto-selected. This is a little bit more of an advanced feature. I encourage you to go check out my other video dedicated to that to understand that a little bit better. So this is the core thing. As you see, we've got the files. You select them, you're very intentful with them. We can filter them. We can search for certain things like .css. Regex is supported here. And from here, we just go ahead and make our changes, and we can apply them automatically thanks to the apply mode or the chat. And that's kind of it. So I hope this was helpful. I wanted to make this video to help folks who are getting started with Repo Prompt to understand a little bit more of how it works. And I hope that this helps you get the most out of the app. And if you have any questions, please hop on the Discord. I'm very happy to answer anyone who hops in. And if you have feature requests as well, that's a great place to make them as well. So thank you so much for your time. Hope this helps clarify some of how Repo Prompt works, and I hope it helps in your day-to-day work. So thank you so much.